Okay, so this is how we're going to make the brick books. There's different size bricks you can get. This just happens to be a smaller size, so I can pick it up and kind of show you guys in the video. And then you've got your bigger pavers. These are actually pavers. You can get them at Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever. And they come in all different sizes. This particular size, the big one, is the one that I really like a lot because it just makes it look like a more old-fashioned book. You're going to need different color acrylic paints. I don't use gloss, I just use the matte. And brushes. You'll need paint pens for the details of the picture that's going to be on your book. A pencil so you can sketch out what you want your picture to be on the book cover. And a ruler and some water. And then this is what I use to seal the book when I'm all finished painting it to make it look like a book. Seal the brick. And a paper plate and paper towels in case you need those. So this will be the book. I'm going to do the stone soup book. So that'll be the book that I will be making. And we start off, when you get your brick, you're going to start off looking at your brick, trying to figure out which way you want it to go. And I want the top to be here. These will be my 3 sides of the pages. So you got your front of the book, the spine of the book, and then the back of the book. And we'll get started. So of course it's blue. So I'm gonna go ahead with my blue. This happens to be just a primary blue color. And I'm going to just put it all over this since I'm doing a big section of the book. And then I'll just paint it. Doesn't have to be perfect. And when you're doing the pages, I'll pick this up and show you guys here in just a second. Near the pages, every cover of a book kind of goes down over the side of the book. So you're going to make a line down each side of where your cover will go. So it still looks like it's like a 3D effect of the book. I sometimes will use a book. I don't happen to have that particular book, so I'm not using the book as a guide. I'm just going to use the picture of the cover. And there were so many different covers of the Stone Soup book. I was like, I don't even know what the original one looked like, but I know it's not this one because this is more of an updated look to the book. When you have these divots like this and where it looks, this is what you're going to use to make it look worn. So it's going to be a different color, mostly white is what will make that once we get going. It takes a couple hours to make a book, depending on how much detail is going to go into the picture on the front of the book. And some people make them without pictures and they just look like an old-fashioned book in their garden. And that's where I got the idea from, was on Pinterest. People do post these brick books. I just came up with using the preschool or book that I wanted. And I'm going to do this fast because I'm not waiting on it to dry so I can get it done for you guys. It doesn't have to be covered completely. If you want like it to look old, having the whole book not covered and having some of the stone show through is really pretty too. So I'm just coming across. I want to get the cover to go across like the pages, because that's what covers do. They go across, they kind of overlap the top of the pages there. If you guys have books at home to look at, it can kind of inspire you what you want your brick book to look like. I mean, it's already starting to look like a book, and that's just doing the cover as a solid color. And you go all around with your line. And it doesn't have to be perfect because, well, it's supposed to look old and worn. Stone soup was, somebody commented on my page and said stone soup, and I was like, I gotta do that because it's a garden and it's a stone that we're using, sorta. So that's why I was like, she had a great idea, and I don't remember her name. I'll have to go through and look and find it. All the other books that are out in the yard that I've done, each one represents my child's favorite preschool book, or a book they remember me reading to them as a little kid. And that ended up being their favorite book. And like I said, it don't have to be perfect. I'm trying to get this done before the rain comes. All right, so far we have, let me pick this up so you guys can see. Okay, and that would be the spine of it. And then what you're gonna go to next is we are going to go get the white, or I try to use different color tans, darker white color, like an antique white, or I don't want it to be white because the pages are kind of like a off-white when the book is old. So we're going to use antique white and probably that khaki color, and maybe some of the darker brown color too. And if your paint, whoopsie, if you get blue in with this white, it's fine. And I feel the sprinkles coming, guys. So hopefully I'm able to finish this for you. I mean, it's not like anything difficult to do. You're just basically painting. You can't mess it up. If you mess it up, you can paint over it. So don't worry about messing it up. See how that blue went in there? It's fine. It's going to get covered anyway. This is just our base of the pages. we're going to cover it with the look of the lines. If you want to use white, you can use a white color. I think a couple of the books out there I did use white, and I had to like dirty it up a little bit more to make it look old and antique looking. Okay, so that will be our first. So what we're doing now is, before I start on the pages, I just kind of wanted to dirty up the book. And before we started the recording, I kind of just got on here and I did like a dry brush, and just kind of where the edging is kind of like looks like it's been beat up, we want to like make it dirty in those spots. And then if you don't like the way it looks, you can go right back over it with the blue and like that, kind of make it look, it makes it look old. And then we'll do it on the spine a little bit. And sometimes if you get too much, you just kind of rub it off, and you can fix those pieces that go back over it with a little touch up of blue if you think it's too much. And once that dries, it'll blend in and kind of make it look somewhat dirty and old, because that's the look we're after with it being in the garden. So also with the pages, we want to dirty up the pages and make it just look a little bit more, dry brushing is you put a little bit of paint on your brush and kind of get as much of it off as you can. Use a paper towel, whatever. And the white starts to kind of look dingy, and that's what we want the pages to look like, a dingy color, but not too dark, before we start working on the pages. And just kind of make it look old. That's why I said if you did get a little bit of blue on here, that's fine. It's just you're dirtying it up anyway. There's no real right or wrong how to do it. You're basically painting it over just to kind of get somewhat of a dingy look, and use the blue and kind of blend and to make it look like you didn't put it there. Okay, so that's that so far. So then we're going, and I did the spine, or I did right at the edges. I took, and you can take a darker brown if you want. Let's see, what do I have? Territorial beige. I'll add a little bit of that and kind of make that, whoopsie, too much, but that's all right. It's a little bit darker for your edging of the book, like that. That's where the spine meets the edge of the book, the pages. There's always like glue on there, so kind of make it look like that. And then what we'll do is we'll take our ruler and your paint pens. You can use a small brush. You can do black too. If you have a small enough brush, and just paint. I just find it a lot quicker to do it this way. Get my pen going. This is black. I'm just going to put an edge down this to kind of give it an edge to the book itself. And then I'm going to kind of go around that edging like that. to kind of give it more of a book look. And I'll do that around the whole book. You can skip over these. I don't really want it on that because it's supposed to look torn. I just want it to be like where the edging of the book would be if it wasn't like broken like there. And then you can go back over with your blue if you need to fill any blue in. Or whatever color your book is. Or the white, whichever. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I'll go back over it after the tutorial and kind of fix my, like this. I may want to bring that in a little bit, kind of like that, to kind of give it a book look. So then you're going to take your brown. I always use brown for the pages just because black is just, I don't know, it's too dark for what we're looking for. And we'll go down the pages of the book. And it don't have to be perfect. I'm going to skip over that. And you're just going to get them close so it looks like pages. And some of you guys have sent me wanting to know how to do the pages, and I've kind of explained it to you. Hopefully I explained it okay. And it doesn't have to be perfect. So here, I'm not going to do anything coming down because this is all torn up. And I'll beat that up a little bit more with some color. But I'll show you on this side what we do on the edges. So even this side don't really have edges. But you'll bring your, what you'll do is you'll bring your color down so you can bring the page down when you do the other side, so it looks all like it's connected. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Your pages do not have to be perfect. Some can be darker, some can be torn, some can be crooked. And then that would meet, these would meet like that to kind of look, make it look like it's part of the book. So that's where your edges come in. Then you can take more of some of your color and kind of blend that like that. And you can also do the other side, kind of give it more of a look like that. And then I take some of the cream and some of the khaki color, and I just kind of here and there, and it'll, if you put too much on, it's fine. You don't have to see all the lines. Kind of gives it a faded look. And then I'll take my blue and I'll kind of fix some of this edging to kind of make it I think it was this side, yeah. See where I put white right there? I'm just gonna kind of bring that up a little bit. Just like that. And make sure I got like that. And then that's about it for the book and what to make it look like a book. I think we did a pretty decent job doing that. You can take your white if you really want some of it to kind of stand out, highlight in your cream, and that'll kind of make it, your corners stand out and make it look more beat, like it's torn and ripped. It's just playing with the paint and just figuring out what looks good. You can go back over it with the blue if you don't like it, so there's no mistake that you can make. So that's how you get it to look like a book. And then also, I also do black. What do I do with that black? I take black paint. You can use your paint pen if you want, but I just use paint. And I use a small brush. And I'll go down the side of the book to give it like it's been opened. It's like that crease that goes down the side of it. You can kind of blend it a little bit. Don't be afraid to just get in there and kind of play with your color. Of course, you're going to have dark spots, and that's okay because some spots are going to be darker than others. And then you'll take the white after that and you'll follow it up with like a highlight. And it kind of highlights the dark and gives it just that little extra touch that it needs. So when you go to open the book, that's where the crease is. And like it's crooked, and I'll go back and fix it. I'll just take glue to it and cover this up. I mean, I can do it right here while you guys watch, because it's just not close enough. I didn't like it, so I'm gonna fix it. And then I'll take my black again and I'll bring it over just a little bit to kind of give it, I want it over like that. There we go. And then I'll just kind of smear it a little bit because we don't want it perfect. Get that white back out, or cream, and go up it for the shading. Like that. There, and that's more uniform. So when you open the book, that's your crease that it makes. And then I'm going to go ahead and start the stone soup, and you guys can watch me, and it'll just be in fast forward for that.